RP Global est un producteur privé d'électricité depuis 28 ans. Nous travaillons essentiellement à partir de centrales hydroélectriques et de parcs éoliens terrestres. La principale caractéristique de notre société est de balayer tous les aspects de la filière, à savoir l'identification des sites, bien sûr, la concertation locale, le développement du projet ainsi que l'obtention de toutes les autorisations nécessaires, mais nous poursuivons également par le financement, la construction et les opérations. De cette façon, nous avons déjà construit 34 centrales ou parcs avec un maître mot qui est la qualité. En effet, destiné à être sur place pendant 20 ou 40 ans, il est important de pouvoir garantir la rentabilité des installations ainsi qu'une qualité jusqu'au terme de l'exploitation. Pour ce faire, nous avons constitué une équipe d'experts internationaux qui interviennent dans chacun des pays de RP Global systématiquement quand nous avons un parc ou une centrale en construction. Ça nous permet d'augmenter notre expérience et de tirer profit de ce que nous apprenons projet par projet. Ces parcs, qui développent 49,5 MW, revêtent une importance majeure pour la région. En effet, la production permettrait d'alimenter 30 000 personnes. C'est l'équivalent d'une ville comme celle de Cambrai.
The development of the Anglaise wind farm started in 2008. It is located on the outskirts of 3 neighbouring villages, Lefebvre, Bourcy and Douagny, which are all part of the Cambrai agglomeration community in the Nord department. This renewable energy project is the result of work by RP Global, a company that specialises in wind power and hydroelectric development. It is based in Lille and is an active participant in the nation's aim to achieve a total wind power production of 2.4 to 2.7 gigawatts by 2023. An application for the establishment of 2 wind power development zones was lodged with the Préfecture of the Nord department in May 2011. These were approved in February 2012. The project started to become a reality in June 2012, with the creation of 3 dedicated operating companies. This project benefits from all of the ideal factors required for its success: wind, a suitably varied landscape, and access roads. Considering the regional stakeholders to be taken into account, it is the result of careful and thorough planning, respecting local expectations, and built on close cooperation with the elected representatives of the local councils of the enclave and government authorities. The exact locations of the turbines are a key part of any wind power project, and this must be based on information painstakingly gathered over several years. The potential wind power yield is the first parameter that must be defined. For this reason, the enclave area was surveyed in detail. An 86-metre wind measuring tower was installed by RP Global within the village boundaries of Douagny. For the impact on property prices. For the political constraints. The wind farm will include 15 wind turbines spread evenly over the 3 local councils involved in the project. Choosing the turbine is also an essential part of any project.
Nous avons choisi de construire la Vestas V112 dont la hauteur totale est de 150 mètres. Un des critères qui nous a guidés dans le choix de ces machines et de ce fournisseur est l'ancrage local de Vestas qui possède un centre de maintenance et d'exploitation à moins de 10 km du site. Cette proximité des intervenants est un des critères essentiels dans nos choix de fournisseurs, tant en phase de développement, construction ou d'exploitation de nos parcs éoliens, ce qui nous permet ainsi de favoriser l'emploi local.
The construction works were officially launched in September 2015. The works began with the installation of the site's essential infrastructure. The first work phase involved the excavation of trenches to connect the wind turbines to the delivery substation. This involved laying 3-phase MV electrical lines and fibre optic cable at a depth of 1.2 metres underground. These trenches mostly run along access roads, but some also cross agricultural land. Every effort has been made to ensure that the land has been returned to its initial condition. Once the electrical cables have been buried, the access road works begin. The decision was made to use as many existing roadways as possible for the 3 wind farm sites, thus reducing the construction of new roadways to a minimum. These were reinforced and widened to allow for the circulation of heavy loads. A number of access roads were constructed to provide access to the individual wind turbine locations for both the construction and maintenance operations. RP Global implemented compensation measures to limit any impact related to the wind turbines. Burying some of the electrical cables across Douagny will improve the views surrounding the wind farm and facilitate the work of local farmers on their land. The engineering works began once the access road construction works had been completed. These started with improvement works to the terrain of the future wind turbine sites. Depending on the condition of the ground, higher quality materials had to be used as replacements, or structural reinforcements had to be inserted to specific depths. The concrete foundations had to be seated on solid ground to ensure the stability of the wind turbines during operation. Once the ground improvement works had been completed, a binding concrete slab was poured across the whole surface of the foundations. Once this slab was in place, the anchorage points could be installed in the center of the excavations, followed by the reinforcement steelworks. A reinforced concrete foundation was then poured to ensure the installation's structural stability. At this point, the turbine components were transported to the site. The main wind turbine components are the nacelle, gearbox, hub, the 3 blades, and the 4 tower sections. A number of other smaller elements also had to be transported to the site. On average, each wind turbine required around 20 delivery convoys. Once all these elements had been delivered and stored on the platforms, the 2 cranes, main and auxiliary cranes, arrived on site. These were used to assemble the turbine, made up of the tower, the nacelle, and the rotor. Once the first section of the tower had been attached to the anchorage point, the other sections were lifted and assembled one after the other. Four sections, each weighing more than 225.5 tons. To ensure the stability of the structure, the nacelle was fitted to the summit of the tower once the last tower section had been installed. The rotor can be assembled on the ground or directly on the tower. These operations are both spectacular and very delicate. The 3 rotor blades were then attached to the hub, which is fixed to the nacelle's drive axle. It took around 2 months to complete this phase for the entire wind farm. Once the delivery substation was operational, tests could be carried out on the wind turbines, which were then operated at a minimum regime for a specific period before they could be officially cleared for operation. The works were completed once the site had been returned to its original state. The access roads were returned to their original condition. The land around the wind turbines was reinstated for agricultural use, and grass laid around the bases of the wind turbine towers. RP Global favours a qualitative and systematic approach to the development of its projects through using the knowledge and skills it has built over the last 20 years. Multi-skilled teams work in close collaboration to optimise their understanding of all potential issues related to each phase of the wind farm project.